There is another figure I want to mention who was right in the middle of the Mind and Life discourses, whose name is Arthur Zajonc. He wrote a book on meditation as contemplative inquiry. And he is a physicist and author and contemplative, and was also the general secretary of the Anthroposophical Society in America for a time. And in his book, he introduces and also tries to look at parallels between some of the contemplative practices that have been kind of situated at the core of the work of School for Spiritual Science with some of the Buddhist practices that he became intimately familiar with through his participation in the Mind and Life discourse. So, with that, I'd like to, characterize this seeking that I've been describing that has been more and more pronounced, or a pronounced part of the last 60 years of English-speaking culture in the United States, and how certain issues come up in a discussion around meditation when the questions are phrased such that one would like to have an open mind to the possibility that meditation could lead to knowledge or to a capacity of inquiry, to understand something in the world that one couldn't understand through natural scientific methods. Or in the words of Alan Wallace, are there contemplative techniques that can provide us with knowledge that can be integrated into our scientific understanding of the world? This is a kind of contemplative realism, a belief that there are spiritual dimensions to life, and that it is potentially possible, it's possible to develop a knowing relationship to them, not only one based on revelation and faith. Here I'd like to introduce something called imaginative contemplative practice. It's one of the practices at the core of the intentions and ambitions for inquiry that the School for Spiritual Science is focused on. And it shares with the contemplative traditions, for instance, of the East, in this case Buddhism, which I've just been speaking a little bit about, the ambition of a kind of contemplative realism. And so more in the direction of what Alan Wallace describes, and Arthur Zajonc, of course.
This is Questions of Courage, a podcast from the youth section at the Goetheanum, hosted by Nathaniel Williams.